Alright, today I'm back on the Craftsman limited edition YS 4500 that was sitting for a long time, taking it from where it started as is to a running tractor. This unit has several issues. The thing we're going to be working on today is pulling the deck, the cutting deck, which is a 42-inch, and seeing all the problems it has in case I have to order any parts for it. I want to get them ordered now, and while we have the deck off, probably in the next video, I'll work on the alignment of the front tires, which is, well, it's a little bit in the shade right here, but they're both towed out really bad, and I don't know why, but it's caused the tires to go completely bald over the years, and obviously wasn't steering very well, so we'll try to figure that out in the next video. But for today, let's pull the deck off and see what we have. Looks pretty rough. Alright, let me see if I can get you lined up here, see what clips we have to pull. Get this deck off. Let's start with the front. Just one. And because it's going to be a while before I put these back, I'm just going to put these clips right back where they were. Let this hang. I don't think it'll get in the way of the tire as I'm rolling it back. Let me do the one on the other side. I'm going to have to lift up on the deck a little, or you could let the tension down, which would have been a better idea. The deck height, you can adjust it all the way down so those are in the relaxed position. Alright, the other thing I see is this cable. This cable, okay, that's for the engaging the deck. This cable runs down there, and we can see it ends up right here with another clip like we've been pulling, or actually a little bit different clip, standard C clip or E clip, or I don't know what those clips are called. Where is it? There it is. Pull that from the back, then we're going to have to see where that mounts. It goes to a spring which has a clip on it on the other side. I'll probably have to pull that from the other way. Maybe not. What I'll do is I'll pull the tractor out. When I pull the deck out, I'll pull it out towards us, and that cable has enough flex that I'll be able to see what I'm doing. The other thing that's got to come off is the belt. The way I'm going to pull it on this one, up here is the motor sheave. I'm going to pull it down underneath. Maybe. Alright, we got that. What else? think that's all. So I'm going to pull it out towards the non-discharge side, which would be the left side. Nope, more clips. Sorry. Over here, we've got this bar that runs from here to here. You see another clip. It's like the ones we've been taking off. Pull the bar out. Again, I'm going to put the clips right back because I might not be putting this back together for a little while. And you tend to lose stuff. Probably the same on the other side. Yes. I'm going to try to keep this as steady as I can by putting it on the ground, but I don't know if the shadows here are going to mess us up this morning. And of course something is too low right here to let it by, but maybe that gives us enough room on the other side. Maybe I'll just lift the tractor and try to kick at the deck under. I just need to get it out far enough that I can get that cable on the other side disconnected. Okay, now here's that cable we took off earlier, the clip and everything. Looks like that cable can come out, up, yep. Now we've got all the slack in the world, and I was able to just lift that spring right out of there. Pull all that back through. And now the deck should slide out the rest of the way. There we go. Okay, we can see on this deck for sure. Let me get this out of the shadows here. Let me put you on a tripod. Okay, now we got a better view. So we can see that the front of the deck there is caved in real bad. There's like a yellow bag, plastic bag sticking out of the little bent area. And my guess is it was bent in so far, that's why the front of that deck flange is missing. If you look carefully, there's flange here, no flange here. So my guess is that that blade has actually come in contact with it. Several other issues on the same deck. So that flange here is rolled back. We can just bend that down. That's probably not the biggest of deals. There's a crack here where a hole was for something or another. I don't know what. When we bend that metal back, that metal will go like this. Then we'll be able to zip that closed. It will close up by itself, and then we'll just make sure with the welder. Somebody's cut, this isn't the biggest deal of all, but somebody has cut the last few inches out of here, probably just to make it throw grass farther. I also notice this part here is broken clean off from where it's supposed to be down backwards towards the blade, and again cause us trouble. We'll look at the pulleys. That one actually sounds pretty good. The idlers here, that one's got a little, oh, that's touching that metal. That bearing's a little noisy, but I'll bet you it'll clean up when we put some oil, penetrating oil, try to get it down to that bearing. Those are usually sealed bearings, but oftentimes you can get the oil to make their way down in there. Other than that, it's just got general rust everywhere. A lot of peeling paint. This wheel here isn't exactly lined up with the rest of the deck. We got to kind of move the back end of it in a little bit. Just bend that bracket a little would be fine. This actually has decent heavy-duty brackets. These wheels are designed just for anti-scale purposes. They're not designed to ride on the lawn. A lot of people put them way too low. They're adjustable by putting the... Let me try to get on this one. They're adjustable by putting the wheel in whatever hole lines up with where you like to go. You usually want that, you know, above the lawn surface, not touching the lawn. They're not designed to touch the lawn. These are just designed to hang by these rods. There's no reason to have the wheels touching. All that does is make it hard to steer and puts excessive wear on everything else. Let's flip this over. The other problem that happens on these, sometimes this one looks okay, is this front pulling bar. That weld can crack, or that metal can crack. Sometimes you just have to re-weld that, or maybe even put a little gusset over to the deck. Alright, let's see what we got going on here. So the bottom doesn't look too bad. Again, you could see how badly that's caved in there, and it doesn't look like that was actually what was, well, yeah, actually it does. It's in the same arc as the blade, so at one time that was all the way back hitting that blade. So we'll address that. This deck's pretty solid, except for, you know, where I showed you before where this is broken off. We can get that back up. And a couple little deformations here. Not sure exactly. Here's a problem. So we got a cracked off, I forget what they call the, oh yeah, two places that's cracked. One, that ear's cracked off. That ear, oh sorry, 3 out of 4. Cracked. That one's still the only one holding. So this blade, and if you look, that blade is bent up well beyond where it should be. So that probably got, the tip of the blade probably got hooked on something and was going a million miles an hour and broke the whole casting there. So I call them spindles. There's other names for them, but these will need to be replaced. This one, let's see how the other one looks. This one's okay. That one's okay. The way I check the bearings on these, usually I just, why do I have that zoomed in? If you lift up and down, you see how I got, it's hard with the sun in the morning here. At least it looks weird on my camera, on my viewfinder. If you can see, that's got a little play. I'm pulling up and down in the tip of the blade. That's usually an indication those bearings are completely shot. So when you got that much play, I'll just replace both of these while I'm in here. If you go to replace just the bearings, like this one, I potentially could replace just bearings by pressing them out. Half the time, these bolts, they're in aluminum. They're going to completely just snap right off. And to be honest, this deck, I know this deck, I've had this on several machines. It's a very prolific deck. A lot of these have been used out on the market. So they got spindle kits, probably with new blades. I'm going to need at least one blade. I'll have to check this one to see if it looks straight, but probably I'll just buy a kit. Oftentimes they come with the belt, 2 blades, 2 spindles, complete. Sometimes they even come with the new, you don't always need them, but they come with the new sheaves or pulleys, whatever you want to call them. So I might just buy a whole rebuild kit for this deck, because that's what it's going to need. And So that's the preliminary look. I can see what we're going to need now, so I can get the parts ordered while we're working on other things.